You know, everyone's careful about what they bring into their homes. Clean floors, locked doors, fresh air, good vibes. But what they forget is the filth they carry inside themselves. The kind that doesn't wash off. The kind that smiles while it poisons everything around them. It's not the dirt on your shoes that ruins a place. It's the bitterness, the envy, the fake kindness you let walk through your front door. People think danger wears a mask, but most of the time, it walks in smiling, sits at your table, and calls itself a friend. Energy carries farther than words ever will. People think silence means peace, but silence can hide storms. You can walk into a room, say nothing, and still feel the tension hanging in the air like smoke after a fire. That's energy. It lingers. It spreads. It infects. Words might fool people, but energy never lies. You can dress up, smile, shake hands, act polite, but if your energy's rotten, it seeps through every crack. People feel it even when they can't explain it. That's why some folks make a room colder just by walking in, while others light it up without saying a thing. Most people don't realize how contagious they are. They carry their moods, their bitterness, their anger, like invisible dust. They dump it everywhere they go. On your walls, your couch, your peace. You let them in because you think you're being kind, being social, being understanding. But what you're really doing is inviting chaos into your sanctuary. You clean your dishes, sweep your floors, spray your air fresheners, but you never cleanse your energy. You never notice how heavy your home feels after certain people leave. You never question why you suddenly feel drained, restless, irritated for no reason. That's because energy doesn't need permission. It just travels. You ever meet someone who talks nice, compliments you, acts sweet, but when they leave, you feel smaller? That's not conversation, that's consumption. Some people don't talk to connect. They talk to drain. They don't visit to share joy. They come to offload their misery. They wrap it in small talk, in laughter, in fake interest, but underneath it all, they're bleeding, and they want you to bleed too. Misery doesn't like company. It needs it, because it can't survive alone. That's why you have to be careful who you let into your space. A person's energy is like perfume. Once it's in the air, you can't ignore it. But unlike perfume, not all of it smells good. Some of it's toxic, suffocating, invisible poison that clings to your thoughts long after they're gone. You start thinking their thoughts, doubting your blessings, replaying their negativity. They leave, but their energy stays behind, pacing your halls like a ghost. And you call it just a bad mood. It's not. It's residue. Energy is more honest than words, because it can't fake tone or expression. A person can smile at you and hate you at the same time. They can call you friend, while secretly resenting you. But their energy will always betray them. It'll slip through the cracks of their politeness. That's why your gut always knows before your mind does. You feel the warning, but you ignore it. You tell yourself you're overreacting, being paranoid, too sensitive. But your spirit is never wrong. It just gets silenced by logic. Some people bring storms with them. Their presence stirs the air, shifts the temperature, breaks the calm. They walk in with anger, jealousy, comparison, and suddenly everything feels off. You feel it, but you pretend it's nothing, because you don't want to seem rude or cold, so you let them stay. You smile, you host, you play along. But deep down, something in you starts to shrink. That's the cost of politeness. You trade your peace for their comfort. And it's not always strangers. Sometimes it's the ones closest to you. The ones who claim to love you, but secretly resent your light. They'll visit, hug you, say, "I'm proud of you," but their energy says, "Why you, not me?" You'll sense it, that flicker of cold behind the warmth. But you'll laugh it off, because it's easier to pretend. That's how people lose their peace, by letting guilt talk them into hospitality. Energy moves faster than words. It doesn't need sound to communicate. It's in the eyes, the tone, the pause before a compliment, the forced smile after your success. You can't hide it, and you can't fight it. You can only decide what you let near you. That's where people go wrong. They think protecting their peace means cutting off arguments, not realizing it starts way before that. It starts with paying attention to how people make you feel, not just what they say. Your home should be a reflection of your inner calm, not a collection of other people's chaos. You can't heal in a space filled with borrowed pain. You can't grow where someone's resentment lingers. But the problem is, most people don't believe in energy until it breaks them. They don't understand how something invisible can destroy something sacred. But that's the thing about energy. It doesn't need to be seen to be real. It just needs to be felt. You can tell who carries peace and who carries poison by how your soul reacts. Some people enter your space and you breathe easier. Others enter, and you suddenly remember every problem you thought you'd let go of. That's not coincidence. It's connection. They bring what they carry, and if you're not careful, they'll leave it with you. Then you'll find yourself fighting battles that were never yours, feeling emotions that didn't belong to you, losing sleep over shadows that came from someone else's storm. Energy travels, it attaches, it transforms spaces, and once it finds a home, it doesn't leave easily. That's why awareness is protection. That's why silence is sacred. Because when you learn to read energy, you stop explaining yourself, stop forcing connections, stop letting people walk into your home with chaos disguised as charm. You stop cleaning up messes that aren't yours. You start protecting your peace like it's gold, because it is. Not everyone deserves access to your peace. You see, peace isn't just quiet, it's power. It's the rare kind of silence that doesn't mean weakness. It means control. It's when you can sit in chaos and still hear your own heartbeat steady. But the problem is, people think peace is something they owe others. They hand it out like candy to anyone who smiles at them, anyone who pretends to care, anyone who says the right words. They don't realize peace is sacred. It's not a gift for everyone. It's protection for yourself. You ever notice how some people don't come to you for conversation? They come for extraction. They don't want your time, they want your energy. They want to dump their pain, their anger, their confusion onto you so they can walk away lighter while you carry what's left. And because you're kind, you let them. Because you think helping means listening. Even when listening starts to drain your soul, you confuse being understanding with being available. But there's a difference. Understanding comes from strength. Availability comes from guilt. And guilt is how people sneak into your peace and make it theirs. Peace isn't built by avoiding noise. It's built by choosing silence. By learning when to shut the door, not because you hate what's outside, but because you love what's inside. Not everyone deserves that access. Not everyone should get to sit in your calm when they only bring chaos. You can't let people use your spirit as their recovery room. They'll keep coming back for more, until you forget what peace even feels like. And the worst part, they'll still call you selfish when you finally stop letting them in. People don't realize how entitled they've become to other people's peace. They think because they're family, or old friends, or coworkers, that they have a right to unload on you anytime. They don't care what you're carrying. They just want somewhere to put their mess. But peace doesn't mean becoming everyone's dumping ground. Peace means boundaries. And boundaries always offend those who benefit from your lack of them. When you start protecting your space, people will call you cold, distant, arrogant. But they'll never admit that what they really miss is your silence, the silence that made their chaos bearable. You can't heal in a house that's open to everyone. Every knock, every call, every message, each one pulls a piece of you away. Some people don't even realize they drain you. They're not bad. They're just broken. But broken people, when left unchecked, will break anything they touch, including you. And if you keep trying to save everyone, you'll start drowning in problems that aren't even yours. That's not compassion. That's self-destruction disguised as love. Peace demands protection. It's not built through words. It's maintained through distance. You can't argue with chaos and expect calm. You can't convince noise to be quiet. You have to cut access, lock the door, walk away. Because the same people who disturb your peace will never take responsibility for it. They'll make you feel guilty for leaving, but they'll never thank you for staying. That's how emotional thieves work. They make you feel like you owe them peace while they steal yours. You ever notice how peaceful people attract chaos? Like light attracts moths. It's not because they're weak. It's because their calm exposes the storms in others. People who can't handle their own silence come looking for yours to drown in. They'll test your limits, poke your patience, push your buttons. Not because they hate you, but because they hate how you're unbothered. Your peace reminds them of what they've lost. And instead of learning from it, they want to ruin it. Because misery doesn't like mirrors. It likes company. You can't give everyone access and still expect peace to survive. You have to learn the art of selective connection. Who gets your time? Who gets your energy? Who gets your silence? It all matters. Some people should only have your smile, not your story. Your hello, not your hours. Your kindness, not your closeness. Because the closer they get, the more they take. Peace is a garden. Too many visitors trample the flowers. And don't mistake loneliness for peace's price. People will leave when you stop letting them use you. That's normal. They were never there for you. They were there for what you gave them. And when you stop giving, they'll call it betrayal. Let them. You don't owe explanations for protecting what keeps you sane. The ones meant for you will never make you choose between your peace and their presence. They'll fit into your calm, not fight it. Peace is a kind of power most people will never understand because they're addicted to noise. They can't sit still. They can't face silence without distraction. But you learn to love it. You learn that your peace is not negotiable. It's the difference between reacting and thinking, between surviving and living. You start to notice that life feels lighter when you stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Not everyone deserves to sit at your table. Some people only come to spill what they can't hold. Some come to eat what they didn't earn. Some come just to see what's on your plate. But when peace becomes your priority, you start closing chairs. You stop feeding what doesn't feed you. You start seeing that peace isn't about isolation. It's about insulation. You don't cut people off because you hate them. You do it because you finally love yourself enough to stop letting them walk barefoot across your mind. Hidden intentions destroy quiet places. It's never the loud ones you need to fear. It's the quiet ones who smile too long, listen too closely, agree too easily. They come carrying calm, but it's borrowed. They come speaking peace, but it's rehearsed. And you won't notice at first, because poison never introduces itself. It blends in, moves soft, waits for the right moment to strike. That's how hidden intentions work. They don't knock down your walls, they study them. They find the cracks, and when they finally step inside, they don't bring chaos immediately. They make themselves comfortable first. The world's full of actors. People who pretend to support you while secretly studying how to outshine you. People who pretend to care while counting your weaknesses like coins. They'll sit across from you, nod while you talk, laugh when you laugh. But in their silence, they're measuring. They're deciding what part of you they can use. You think you're sharing your heart, but you're feeding their strategy. And when the time comes, they'll twist your words, copy your ideas, mimic your moves, and call it coincidence. That's how quiet spaces get corrupted, not by noise, but by deceit disguised as loyalty. You ever invite someone into your peace, thinking they'd add to it, only to realize they were jealous of it the whole time? That's the danger of hidden intentions. They don't want what you have. They want to make sure you can't have it anymore. They won't take it outright. They'll drain it, piece by piece, until you start questioning yourself. That's how betrayal works. It doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the ones who clapped for you while secretly hoping you'd fall. The quiet ones, the kind ones, the ones who never seem to argue. They're not always innocent. Some people don't fight because they've already decided how to hurt you. They'll wait, play patient, collect information, act harmless. Then one day, when you're comfortable, they strike. And the worst part, you won't even see it coming, because you trained yourself to see danger in loudness, not silence. You thought betrayal came with anger, not a smile. People with hidden intentions don't break peace with chaos. They break it with charm. They know how to talk, how to compliment, how to make you feel seen. They disarm you with kindness. You start to trust them, to open up, to believe they're different. That's when they start taking. Not in big ways, just small ones. A little of your energy here, a little of your confidence there. You won't notice the loss until you start feeling empty. You'll think it's burnout, stress, bad luck. But it's them. They've been feeding on your calm. They'll say things that sound supportive, but are laced with envy. You're lucky. You always get things easy. I wish I had your life. It sounds harmless, but underneath it is bitterness. They don't wish to have what you have. They wish you didn't have it. And that envy doesn't stay hidden forever. It leaks out slowly like a gas you can't smell until you're choking on it. That's why you have to watch the small signs. The off energy when you succeed. The silence when you celebrate. The subtle change in tone when you talk about something good. Hidden intentions don't always speak. They reveal themselves in what's not said. There's a strange kind of peace that comes right before betrayal. A calm so still it feels wrong. That's because the storm isn't outside. It's already inside. You just haven't seen it yet. They'll smile wider, act sweeter, be more helpful than ever, because guilt always overcompensates before it acts. They think they're being clever, but your spirit always knows. You'll feel it in your stomach, in that sudden heaviness when they walk in the way your body tenses for no reason. That's intuition. It's not paranoia, it's protection. But people ignore it. They tell themselves, no, not them. And that's how the knife gets closer. Hidden intentions don't need words to destroy. They use presence. They disturb your peace without saying a thing. You'll start second, guessing yourself, feeling uneasy around them. But you'll keep trying to rationalize it. You'll think you're imagining things. You're not. Energy doesn't lie. You just don't want to believe someone you care about could carry that kind of darkness. But that's how darkness survives. It hides behind love, behind loyalty, behind, I'd never do that to you. You can't control people's intentions, but you can control their access. Not everyone deserves a seat in your quiet. Some people only come to take notes. They don't want to join your peace. They want to study it, copy it, ruin it. They can't stand that you found stillness in a world that thrives on noise. So they enter it, not to learn, but to disrupt. And the moment you let your guard down, they get what they came for. The scariest part about hidden intentions is that they always wear familiarity. They look like trust, sound like love, feel like home. But if you pay attention, you'll notice the cracks. Real peace never demands your silence. It respects it. Real loyalty never competes with your light. It protects it. Hidden intentions, though. They smile while they take. They praise while they plot. They blend in until they break everything sacred. And when they're done, they'll act like they did nothing at all. Because to them, your peace was never a gift. It was a challenge. Familiar faces can hold unfamiliar darkness. That's the part people never want to believe. That sometimes the ones you trust the most are the ones who'll hurt you deepest. It's easy to guard yourself against strangers. It's harder to see danger in someone who knows your laugh, your stories, your scars. You drop your defenses because you recognize their face, their voice, their touch. But you forget. Time doesn't make someone pure, and history doesn't make them safe. Sometimes the monster doesn't sneak in through the window. It's been sitting at your table the whole time. It's strange how people can share memories with you while secretly carrying envy, resentment, or spite. You think they're proud of you, that they're happy for your growth, but somewhere inside, something in them twists whenever you rise. They remember when you were smaller, weaker, more dependent. They liked you better when you needed them, because your strength reminds them of everything they're not. They'll never say it, of course. They'll still call you friend, still hug you, still smile, but the warmth will start to feel forced. And deep down, you'll know something's changed, even if you can't name it. Darkness doesn't always come wearing a mask. It wears familiarity. It uses your trust like a weapon. The people closest to you know where to aim. They know your insecurities, your fears, your soft spots. And when they decide to hurt you, it's not random. It's surgical. They don't need to scream, don't need to hit, don't need to betray loudly. All they need is a quiet word, a little doubt planted at the right moment, a small withdrawal of support when you need it most. That's how familiar darkness operates. Not with explosions, but with erosion. It wears you down slowly until you start blaming yourself. You'll tell yourself they didn't mean it. You'll justify their silence, their coldness, their passive jabs. You'll say, they're just stressed, or they're going through something. Because believing that they've changed feels worse than losing them. But one day, you'll wake up and realize you've been protecting a ghost. The person you thought they were doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe they never did. Maybe you only saw what you wanted to see. That's the trick familiarity plays. It blinds you. You stop paying attention because you assume you already know them. But people evolve. And sometimes that evolution grows darker. Some of the worst energy in your life doesn't come from enemies. It comes from those who call you family. Because jealousy doesn't always look like hate. Sometimes it looks like, I'm just joking. Sometimes it hides behind advice that sounds wise, but feels wrong. They'll tell you to be careful, to slow down, to think twice. But what they're really saying is, stop shining so bright. It's making me uncomfortable. They'll smile through gritted teeth, say congratulations through envy, and you'll feel it even if they hide it well. The dangerous part is, their darkness doesn't announce itself. It creeps in through comfort. You'll keep giving them chances because of shared history. You'll keep letting them in because of what they have used to be. But familiarity creates blindness. You stop testing intentions because you assume love is enough. It's not. Love without boundaries becomes an invitation for betrayal. You can't keep letting people in just because you've known them forever. Time doesn't earn trust. Truth does. It's hard to accept that the ones you defend are sometimes the ones who secretly hope you fail. They won't attack you directly, no. They'll just plant doubt. They'll compare you subtly, make you question your choices, mock your dreams with a laugh that sounds harmless but feels sharp. And they'll do it in a way that makes you look paranoid if you call it out. That's the beauty of familiar darkness. It hides behind innocence. They'll say, "You're taking it the wrong way," or "I was just trying to help." But your gut knows. It always knows. Familiar darkness thrives in your forgiveness. It counts on you remembering the good times. It knows you'll hesitate before walking away. It knows you'll cling to the version of them that doesn't exist anymore. And while you're stuck remembering who they were, they keep taking pieces of who you are. You'll feel smaller, more cautious, more drained, but you'll still call it love. That's how it wins. It convinces you that being loyal means tolerating harm. You have to understand, darkness doesn't always come to destroy you violently. Sometimes it comes to stay, to blend, to get comfortable. It learns your patterns, your weaknesses, your soft spots. It smiles at you every morning and tells you it cares. And because it's familiar, you never question it. You confuse comfort with safety. But comfort isn't safety. It's sedation. It dulls your instincts until you can't tell the difference between loyalty and manipulation. There's something cruel about discovering that the hands you trusted were the same ones that pushed you down. It makes you question everyone, even yourself. But that's what familiar darkness does. It teaches you caution through pain. It reminds you that not everyone clapping for you wants you to keep winning. Some clap just to blend in with the crowd. Some love you just enough to stay close, but not enough to be honest. The scariest part is they'll always justify themselves. They'll say you changed, that you got distant, that you became cold. They'll play the victim so well that you'll start to wonder if they're right. But deep down, you'll remember how your peace started fading the moment they stepped closer. That's not coincidence. That's energy. Familiar darkness hides behind connection. It uses closeness as camouflage. And the longer you ignore it, the deeper it roots itself into your life, until one day, your peace isn't yours anymore. It's been shared, stolen, and replaced with silence that doesn't feel calm. It feels haunted. Protect your space like your sanity depends on it. Because it does. People think protection means keeping out thieves, locking doors, setting alarms. No, no, no. The real danger doesn't need to break in. It gets invited. It walks through your front door with a smile, maybe even a gift, sits down, and starts feeding off your peace like it's dessert. You don't notice it at first.